Hi and welcome. So we have seen. We have seen two ways of defining a thread. We have completed both the ways, that is extending thread class and implementing runnable interface. Now during implementation of runnable interface, we have seen two constructors of thread class. Correct? In first constructor we are not passing anything. In the second constructor we are actually passing our target runnable. I am passing our target runnable. I have explained this in the last video. Correct? So let's see now more thread class constructors. So it is a normal constructor. This one is a target runnable constructor that we have seen. So we have seen these two. Next one is new thread t equals new thread string name. So what is the meaning of this? Every thread in Java has a name. Every thread in Java has a name. Okay, the main thread has a name main, and rest all the threads have a name, default name as thread 0, thread 1 in the order they are created. Okay, so we can pass our own name as well. So we will use this also to name our thread. Fine. Next is we can also name the thread which is of target runnable. Okay. Next is thread group. What is a thread group? If suppose I have 10 threads, okay, 5 threads and 5 threads, I divide these 5 threads and into two parts. I divide these 10 threads into two parts. Now if I create this as a thread group 1 and create this as a thread group 2, now I can perform some functions in this thread group, and all those functions will be applicable to all the 5 threads. Okay, so if I have t1, t2 to t5, and if I want to perform the functions on all of their threads, then what I have to do, just create this as a thread group and perform the function on thread group. It will be performed on all of these threads. Okay, and we can name this also. We can name our own thread group. Thread group is a class available in our Java. Okay, so we will use that class when coding. Next is thread group runnable. You can also do this. Then thread group runnable string name. So what is the meaning of this? Thread group will have a name, and the runnable R name will be given by this string. Okay, here it will have a default name. Fine. Then what is stack size? Here the difference is stack size. So whenever thread t, a new thread is created, a stack is created for it. So if you want, you can define your own stack size. Okay, so these are the constructors, and we will use each of these constructors now. Before going to code, let's see one more topic: get and set name of a thread. So get and set name of a thread. How do you get a name and set a name of a thread? So as I've explained, every thread in Java has some name. It may be default name generated by JVM or a customized name given by the programmer. Okay, to know the currently executing thread, we will be using this method, thread.currentThread. Okay, to know which thread is currently executing, we will be using this method. To get the name of a thread, we will be using the getName method of the thread class. Now to set the name of a thread, we will be using setName method. Okay, these all methods are in the thread class. To get the name of a thread group, we will use getThreadGroup method. Okay, to get the number of active threads in thread group, we will use object.activeCount. And now this method is not in thread class, this method is present in thread group class. Okay, now we will use all these methods and all the constructors that we have seen in the previous slide in our code. Fine, so let's get started now with the coding. So this lecture is all about coding. Okay, so this is getting a setting name Java. I have created a class. Okay, and is the child class for this. Fine, so we don't have to do anything in the child class in this program. So simply what you have to do, you have to print the name of the current thread executing. Now which thread is currently executing? I have not used the start method, so only thread that is executing is nothing but our main thread, so thread dot current name, current thread dot get name. Correct. So this will give me the thread which is currently executing, that is nothing but the main thread, and get name will print its name. Okay, now the next point. So I will be creating this child getting object. Okay, ct equals to new child getting string name object. Fine, now I will be printing this ct.getName. What is the default name of a child thread? Okay, now what we can do, now we don't know which thread is currently executing. Okay, sorry, still main thread is executing till I do ct.start. Now we have two threads. Now I don't know which thread is currently executing. Okay, so let's see which thread is currently executing, and dot set name. What I will do, whichever thread is currently executing, I will name that thread as prep byte. Whether it can be main or it can be the default thread, the child thread, I don't know which is executing right now. It depends on thread schedulers. So that thread will be named as prep bytes. Okay, now what I can do, I can simply print this one, thread dot get current thread dot get name. Fine. Okay, so what we have done here is simple. First we print the thread dot current thread, that is the main thread, and we get the name. then we create an object of our child class, and child getting setting name thread class, and here what we do, we print that name, okay, the default name given to it by JVM. Okay, then we see to start. Now two threads are there, main and the child. Now we do not know who is the current thread, so whoever is working currently will be named prep bytes. Fine, and that will be printed, and that will be printed. So let's now run it. It's a simple program. So what you will see in the first line is the name of the main thread. So as you can see, the name of the main thread is nothing but main. Then the default name given to the child thread is nothing but thread 0. Okay, and whichever class was executing, whichever thread was executing, we said that it's prep bytes, and in this line that was executing. Okay, so this is done. This is done. This was only get name and set name and nothing else. Okay, we use three functions here: thread.currentThread, .get name, and .set name, and nothing else. Okay, now let's see some constructors. So we have seen this constructor before also, that thread t equals to new thread ct, correct? Now in this constructor we will do some modifications. In this constructor. Fine, so we will not use this constructor. I will just comment it, and I will again declare and use a new constructor. So thread t equals to new thread. I will pass the target, and I will name that, for example I name it prepare. Okay, so I named it. So at first what we were doing, we were just simply passing our runnable target. Now what we are doing now, we are renaming that. We are naming that runnable target to prepare. Okay, and now I can simply print it. So just print thread.currentThread.getName. Fine, and here also what you can do, inside run, you can also print here too. Let's see, when our child is running, what is the name that is printing. So thread.currentThread.getName. Okay, now what is happening here is I am changing the child thread name to prepare. So this line should actually give me the output as prepare. Okay, and this line I do not know what will be the output. It can be main or it can be prepare. Now what is the reason behind it, why I can't say for sure the answer for this? Okay, why I can't say for sure? Because I don't know which thread is currently executing. Correct, I do not know which thread is currently executing after t.start. It can be this or it can be this. So let's see. So first the print statement was this. So main thread was executing right now, and it will print main thread. Okay, then when I came here, so name now that I'm getting is not the default name but the name that I customized. So the output is prepare, and then 5 times child enable thread is executing. Correct. So this was the constructor that we have seen, the third constructor, that is runnable, and I gave it a name. Okay, let's see more constructors. That is a thread group constructors. Okay, let's see now for thread group what we will do. So this is a thread group demo class that I have created, and now in the run method what we will do, we will simply print system.out.println. okay, child thread name. What is the name of the child thread? Okay, and how you will get it? If I am here, so definitely the child thread is currently executing. So thread.currentThread.getName. Okay, I think you know how to use these functions now. Also, what I can do is I can get the name of a thread group. Now this thread group I will declare in my main method. Okay, in this class I will declare it. So child thread group name. Okay, child thread group name. So how you will see this, I have told you, thread.currentThread.get thread group name. Okay, so this is how you will do, and just declare a simple job for this one. What can be the job? So just a for loop, simple for loop for int I equal to 0 to I less than 5 I plus plus. Okay, I plus plus. So this is a simple for loop for this. Sorry again. Yes, now just print child thread group. Okay, print child thread group. After this we will go to our main class, and there we will declare this thread group. Okay, what we are talking about. So this is about thread group and different constructors of thread group of the thread class. So child thread group ct equals to new child thread group. Okay, now we have a class named thread group. Okay, we have a class named thread also, and we have a class named thread group. So I have to declare object. I have to initialize an object of this class. new thread group, and here I can pass the name of the thread group. So this is a constructor of thread group class. Okay, so I passed it my group. Now I now I initialize a thread or an object of my thread class. So thread, and here what we will do, we will pass our thread group, that is tg. We will also pass our target runnable, that is ct, and I will give a name to it, that is prepare, or let's do prep bytes. Okay, so this name is given to target runnable. Okay, this game is given to target runnable. There is nothing but my child class. So whenever I am printing this, the output should come here, prep bytes. Okay, thread group name should come here as my group. Thread group name should come here as my group. Okay, now let me begin this t dot start. So it started. Now before this we have just a single main thread. Now we have two threads. So I can just actually print this one out. That is main thread name, main thread name, and here is nothing but thread dot current thread dot get name. Okay, this line will be executed by main thread only, so no issue in this one. Now as out, I can also print same that I did in the below, main thread group. So what I did, I added only child thread on the thread group. I did not add the main thread. See, as you can see in the thread group, I have only added the child. I haven't added the main thread. Okay, so it is in a default group. So let's see what that default group is. Thread dot current thread dot get thread group. Okay, so let's now just run the program. So what it should print, so the main thread, it should print the name, that is nothing but main. For the thread group, it should print the thread. So let's see. So main thread main, so it is printing this, that is main thread is main. Okay, this line is executed. Now after that, what it is doing, that our scheduler, what it is doing, it is running the child thread. So when it is running the child thread, it is printing child thread name, that is nothing but prep bytes. Now it is again stopping it, and it is moving to the main thread. Now what it is printing, main thread group name. What is the main thread group name? Let's see. So main thread group name is this whole thing. Name equals to main and priority equals to 10. We will see what is priority in the next lectures. So name equals to main. So the default thread group name is main. Then it is again stopping this and coming to the child thread group. What is the name of the child thread group? We have changed the name to prep bytes, correct? So let's see. Yes, we have changed the name to my group. So name equals to my group, correct? And prep bytes was the name of the child class, child thread. So this was the whole concept. Okay, now this output is not fixed. This output is dependent upon who is running first. So as you can see, the output when I run again changed. Now the child thread name and thread group are printing at once. Okay, it will change. It depends on the scheduler. It does not depend on us. See, again it changed. So the main thread is here, then whole child thread is working, then at the last main thread is again running. Okay, so it changes every time. Not every time necessarily, but it changes. Here, as you can see, the child thread is running first. So the output is not dependent on us. It depends on the thread scheduler. What I wanted to show you, different types of constructors. So this is one type of constructor, correct? Similarly, you can use the other constructors as well. So I have shown you 4 to 5 constructors. You know how you can use thread.current thread. You know how you can use thread.get name. You know how you can use thread.set name. Okay. Now one thing is remaining. So I can print here s out tg active count. So how many threads are active currently? In my thread group, I have just a single thread currently. So is it active or not? Let's see. Is it active or not? I am running it, and yes, if it is printing 1, that means that one thread is active currently. So what if I just cut paste it, and not here but here? Will it be running still? That is system.println tg.active count. Will it be running still? So at that time it was running. Here also it is running. So that means my child group is running till now. Okay, so it prints the active threads. It prints nothing but the active threads. Okay, how many threads are active that are present inside my thread group? Okay, so these were different constructors, different methods that you can use to get the name or to get the name of your thread. Okay, to set the name of your thread group, to get the name of your thread group, to know how many classes are there inside the thread group. Okay, so sorry, how many threads are present inside the thread group. Okay, from using this constructor you can add different threads into your thread groups as well. Fine. So this was a thread class constructors and getting a setting name of your threads. Next we will see the priorities. As you have seen here, we have two things, that is name of the thread group, and also we have a priority of a thread. What is the priority of the thread? Okay, so we will see these points in the next video lecture, that is the thread priorities. Okay, thank you.